Okay, I hear you.
I can hear you now. Okay, I think that was me.
Okay. All right. So 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Emily Alexandra, Googly Ammo here, back at you with All Talks of Life. And today I am so excited to have on a super, super special guest, one of my most favorite people in the world, my sister, Rachel Villacis.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So, as you can tell, we look very much alike. So, yes, we are sisters. Um, I
Not
am
twin.
so excited to talk to you because a lot of people in this world get pregnant every single day, right?
Of course, right.
And if you guys don't know, and if you're on the podcast listening right now, my sister is currently pregnant. So go
I
ahead and stand up.
okay. Here's the baby. There's the baby, but you can see it from the front now.
Oh, I love it.
I know,
Okay,
me too.
now how many months are you?
6 months, and actually today I am 27 weeks. Well, I'll flip the egg and I'll show you what I mean later.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So, with that being said, you have decided to do something very unique and not the norm. You've decided to do an at-home birth.
I have, and I don't know if I think it might be coming a little bit more popular considering that home births have been the way that women have delivered generations and generations of people for so long. It wasn't really until the modern Western medicine kind of took over that we've been having babies in hospitals. So I decided that I wanted to do a home birth. Yep, I'm
So,
going.
can you explain a little bit more exactly like what that is and like what it entails?
So I've actually been reading this book, and I want to just show your readers Birthing from Within. And this book goes over how to properly care for yourself mentally, physically, in preparation for the baby. Um, if you're deciding to have a home birth, but it does cover hospital births too. The main thing is that the woman needs to be comfortable in her environment. This is a natural process. The only reason that you and I are even here today is because a woman gave birth, and then a woman before her gave birth. So the only reason that our species is here because women have given birth. So it's a very natural process. Our bodies know what to do. Even though this is my first, I've never given birth before. My body knows how to do it. So I'm trusting that my body knows how to push the baby out, that the baby knows when it's time to come, and that given the right environment, if I'm relaxed, if I'm comfortable in my setting, if I'm given all the tools needed for me to be able to have that birth the natural way, it will be done. And in my home, I feel the most comfortable. There is actually research, evidence-based research on giving birth at home, that it's a little bit more safe and sanitary than it is in a hospital,
Wow.
considering this is a very vulnerable time. Not to be super graphic, but a woman has her legs wide open. The most sensitive area is kind of being, there's a baby coming out. So
Being
it's a very
ostracized.
sensitive situation to go through, and it can be very vulnerable. In a hospital with lots of bright lights, and you're strapped up with IVs and
Very
monitors, and there's
invasive.
people coming in and out, and it's no disrespect to doctors and nurses. There is a time and a place, and should I need to have that intervention, my midwife is more than willing to take me to the hospital, because medicine is good to a certain extent, but we don't have to intervene. So in a home where I can have the time that I need to walk around, and it's true that a woman does need to be hydrated, and she needs to be able to move around and reposition her body, because not every woman is going to give birth on her back. It's been evidence-based research has proven that lying on the back with the legs up in the stirrups closes that birth canal and makes it a little bit
Uh-huh.
more of a challenge for that baby to really descend and come out. So the woman needs free movement to move about. And in her home, she's not strapped up. There's no nurses coming in and out, and really only paying attention to the monitors and not really caring what is the mother feeling? How is she feeling in this certain time, and what is she experiencing? So giving birth at home, for me, I made that choice because I wanted to have the birth that I wanted to have for me and my baby.
So when the midwife comes, which by the way, why are they called midwife?
That's a good question. I should probably research that. But midwife has been a long-standing term since the days of old, and it was known that back in ancient days that when women would have a baby, they would kind of hibernate to a hut or to their own little seclusion with the midwives. And the midwives were considered women that have had babies before, so they were experienced in the process of childbirth. And those women were there to support the new mother to be, because that baby is being born, but also a mother is being born. So the midwives were women that had babies prior and were to support the new mom to be.
Well, so then that makes sense. Midwife meaning like middle wife, like she's in the middle of it all helping. So she's almost like a wife for that
Maybe
day.
so. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I have to look up like how that term came to be, but it kind of makes sense though. It does.
Now, does the midwife bring monitors and tools with her?
Yes, she does. She has a birth kit, and she is trained to do any sort of stitches, to intervene should I need some sort of like medical attention. She does carry Pitocin, which is, a lot of people know Pitocin to be like the inducing drug, but it also can help with preventing hemorrhaging. So she carries a couple things like that on her, and just in case. So she does come prepared. Yep.
Okay. Wow. This is so fascinating. Because before you had decided to go this route, I never knew much about this and thought this was even knew this was a thing
Yeah, it's true. And
of
not a
this
lot
day
of
and
people,
age.
especially in the Western world, we're so accustomed to like going to the doctor and doing it a certain way. So we kind of get into our habits. But I think that now, especially with the COVID-19 coronavirus going on, I think there's a lot more women that are feeling a little bit more comfortable
Right.
doing home births. But I think it's educating ourselves on the process of childbirth and hearing more stories. That's why I really love this book, because she talks about going deep within and being able to be okay subconsciously with the process, to communicate with the baby. And I talk to the baby, at night, and we have conversations, and I've just started getting into talking about, okay, you're going to be born, you'll be here soon. And I think that's really important, because if there's that connection and you feel comfortable with yourself and knowing that pain is part of the process, a lot of times we want to run away from the pain.
Right.
And so in a hospital, we can get the epidural, or we can have a scheduled C-section. But for me, I look at life as something that's so magical, and there's no way, we can't scientifically put a reason on it. There's no way that how does that baby know how to grow in the woman's body? How does the
I
woman's
know it's
body know
wild.
how to supply and build the placenta and cushion the baby? There's just so many things that we don't know. And it's important to be okay with the not knowing process and to allow it to happen. And I have no idea what to expect. I'm kind of expecting nothing. I know it'll be painful. It's going to be scary. It might be hard. It might be 24 hours, could be a little bit longer, could be less. I don't know. But the hospital setting, we're so accustomed to that because it's been the way. And well, no, we don't want the woman to be in pain. But what about the baby? That baby
So,
squeezing through,
right.
it can't be comfortable. And now it's coming to a loud world. So for me, if my baby's going to be in a pain, I'll be in a pain as well. giving birth.
And so you don't know, like when you give birth at a hospital, they actually give you like a specific day, time. This you don't know.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. And actually, it's becoming more and more regular. And I've been reading a lot about the evidence-based research when it comes to birth. And my sister-in-law actually is pregnant now, and they already told her she's only 31 weeks. And they said, well, you know, the baby's getting a little big, and so we're going to monitor you. And if the baby doesn't come by 38 weeks, 6 days, I can't remember the day, then we're going to induce you and we're going to get that baby out. Now, there's a time and a place for that, but I just don't think it's necessarily the right way to go to try and play God, if you will, to say, well, this baby has to come out
Right.
at this time, because the baby knows when the baby wants to come out. I mean, there are times to intervene, but not every single pregnancy. And I've been noticing with a lot of my friends that are pregnant and giving birth, there's a lot of these scheduled C-sections or scheduled inductions, so that the hospital can be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe it's just me and what I'm thinking, but I just kind of think it's sometimes the hospitals and the doctors have to rotate those beds and they have to account for it. And so if a woman's in labor for 24 hours and allowing her to have the baby naturally, they don't have that room. Now they're exhausting their resources. They're going to want that baby to come out sooner. And
It
typically
could
after like
be.
8 hours, they want to induce a woman and get that baby out, and they'll rupture the
Wow.
bag so that the water breaks, but that can also cause
Ah,
infections. And then they'll use like a
interesting.
vacuum to suck the baby out because they just want to get the baby. And it's like a thing now in LA, I guess, like women schedule their C-section, so they just go in and then all of a sudden they're done and the baby's there. So I mean, to each their own, but I think that life is so magical and there's no need to interrupt it.
Now, you were saying something about a baby egg.
Yes. Oh, my baby egg. Okay, this is really cool. So we always get sonograms, right? But so this is kind of like a sonogram. It's called the baby egg calendar, and it's
Wow.
a countdown. And Anita drew all these illustrations. So 38 weeks of development, because the first 2 weeks the baby is still cells, but it goes through and it has a diagram. And now these stickers are mine. I just put them
Amazing.
on. But on the backs, so like for example, at 29 weeks, like
Now,
this
is
is
that how
what,
you are today?
no, I just flipped to the page. I'll show you today for me. But 29 weeks, like she has all the drawings. So and this is like an actual size. And then on the back, what's really fun, it's just a kind of a calendar, but you can also make notes on the back and it tells you what's happening with your
Love
baby that
it.
week. So we have apps and stuff, but this is really fun. I hang it up on my wall. My family has one so they can follow along with me, but it's really neat because it's every week, and it just goes through and it shows you like how the baby is developing. I love my sonograms, but I only have two, right? I'm not going to get any more. So this is just a fun way for me to keep track of like how the baby's growing. And you asked about
Right.
me. I'm 27. I haven't even flipped the egg today, but
Ah,
here we are. But look, it has
that's how
hair.
the baby looks in you right now.
I know, and it's just like that's what's inside.
And you call it baby button because you choose not to know the sex until labor and the birth,
Yep,
which
that's
I
right.
find
Until
even
the baby
extra.
comes out. Yep.
Even that's even extra special along with doing it at home.
Yeah.
So this has just been so enlightening. And where can people buy these baby eggs?
On Amazon, I can send you a link. There's
Okay,
only a few more
great.
left. They're almost collectibles. And I highly suggest getting them because it's so fun. I love having the calendar and being able to see the growth. But then on the back to keep track of just little things that you were doing. And maybe this week you felt the baby move, so you can write it on the back. It's just really fun to keep.
So there you have it, guys. If you want to buy a special baby egg for yourself during the journey while you are pregnant, you can buy one with the link below to the Amazon account owned by Rachel. Thank you so much, Rachel, my most favorite
Thank you.
person my sister. I love you so much. And if you guys have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Also, give it a big thumbs up. Follow, like us on Instagram, Facebook, and also follow up our podcast, All Talks of Life. Thank you so much. And remember to always live, laugh, love. And I hope you have health, wealth, and happiness.
Yay, thank you.